If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hi, welcome to the Dance Resource Podcast. My name is Alexa Lopez. I am your host. Thank you so much for being here today. This is our third episode, and today we're going to talk about money. Money is such a taboo in our culture. I don't know why. I don't know if people are either embarrassed to talk about money or they don't want to brag. I don't know what the deal is. But today, I'm going to help you because we're going to talk about how you can make money with your art. Yes, we can do that. um, so before we get started, I'm going to talk about how I got into the dance industry and the type of jobs that I do to make money. And the way that I got started, it was when I turned 18, I got my first job ever. It was at a dance studio where I grew up in. I was teaching and assisting classes, I believe. And then I quit and I started dancing, like performing at a zoo. And after that, I was searching for a retail job, and that was really hard because I didn't have any retail experience and no one would hire me. And finally, a company decided to give me a chance, and I used my experience of me dancing and teaching on how it would relate. And I don't think I'm a dumb person, and I could like do any retail job easily. And yeah, it was pretty easy when I was working retail. It was at a like a cosmetics. They had like hair care and they had skincare, they had makeup. I was basically like our makeup artist there. It was really fun. I liked that job, not gonna lie. And it was pretty good money at the time. That was like what, like 3, 4 years ago, I believe. So I was making a little bit more than minimum wage. And after that, I got an opportunity to kind of create my own like dance, not like a dance studio, but be like a partner to a studio and create my own dance program there. So as soon as I started making like the same amount of money that I would make at the retail store, I quit my job at the retail store and I started doing dance, like not full time because I was still going to college, but like when I wasn't going to college, I was at the studio teaching and stuff. So I'm gonna list you everything that I do right now to make money using my art, my dance. So at the top of the list is I'm a dance artistic director and an instructor at my studio, like I mentioned. Um, I'm kind of like a partner with the studio, and I run the dance program there, and the other quote unquote partner, they run the fitness program there. So we kind of have like two different programs, and I make all the decisions for the dance department. Basically, I make like everything, like schedules. I have to make paperwork. I have to keep track of all the payments. I basically like manage the whole department. I'm the main instructor. I'm the only instructor right now. So I teach all the classes there. Um and yeah, it's a fun job. It's my most stable job at the moment. Oh, well, not at the moment, but like it's the most stable and profitable job that I have. And we're looking to expand. And my other job is I'm also a dance instructor at another studio. And I basically just teach anything there. The days that I don't teach at my regular studio, and that's also like a good way to fill in and make income on the days that I'm not working at the other studio. And I just want to say these two studios are really far from each other, so there's no competition, and I feel like that's really good because I can be of service in both areas without competing with each other, if that makes sense. And my third quote unquote job that is really, it's kind of stable, but it's more like a side job. I don't know how to explain it. I'm a quinceañera dance choreographer. That is really good money. It's really easy money if you are already a dancer. Because I live in an area where there's a lot of Latinx communities, quinceañeras are really popular here, and even like sweet 16s and stuff. So they're always looking for choreographers, and that is really, really good money. It's really easy. You only have to commit a certain amount of time. So it's not super stable, but it is accessible once you get in that field and people start recommending you. And that's kind of how I've been getting all my quinceañera gigs, are through word of mouth, really. And the next list that I'm gonna talk about is gigs that I do from time to time. They're not my main focus, but I do it sometimes, and sometimes they're profitable and sometimes they're not. So you kind of have to wait, like, what things do you want to make money from and what things you're okay with slipping by and not making any money. So that's kind of something to think about. I sometimes do private dance lessons. They could be through online or in person. I also have directed and choreographed artistic dance pieces and dance concerts. I create and edit dance films for myself, and now I'm working with other people, helping them like edit videos and stuff. I'm really good at that. And I am now a podcast host. I'm not making any money right now, but hopefully a sponsor can look at me and be like, hey, I want to sponsor you. So if that happens, then I'll be making some. I don't know. So next I'm going to talk about different positions that you can have as a dancer. And this next list is going to be several positions that requires no degrees at all, up to a bachelor's degree. So You could be a dancer, and that is gonna give you in between $10 to $97 per hour, and the median um, is $19 per hour, and this is in the US. I don't know anywhere else in the world, but this is all US based. You can be a choreographer, that will give you in between $15.48 to $74.15 per hour, and the median is $35 per hour. You can be a dance instructor or like a dance teacher at a studio, and that is going to give you $11.87 to $38.94, and the median is $22.83. And lastly, you can be a dance studio owner. This is more of if you have a lot of experience and you have the means to start a business. And this is going to give you between $31,000 to $131,000 per year, and the national average is $67,000 per year. This, if you notice, these positions have a huge range of what you can earn. For example, you can be a dancer or a choreographer. You can earn as little as $10 and all the way to like $97. And that is because dance is highly unregulated. We don't have any unions. There's no laws that say that we should be making this amount of money. And it's really up to the people who hire you or give you an opportunity to be a part of the dance community, and they determine kind of what they want to pay you. And some people don't even pay at all. And I think that's kind of messed up. And most places don't even ask any type of certificates, any degrees. They just ask, oh, what do you teach? They barely even ask like any verifications of your dance experience. It's really weird. It's really unregulated, and I don't think that's right. If you are being if you have years and years of experience, I think there should be a point where they should pay you more than minimum wage. I don't believe that dancers or dance teachers, for that matter, should be paid minimum wage. That is not okay. Also, there's some of us that are self-employed and we are independent contractors, and those type of people, they don't have any benefits. And a lot of these people that even if they're hired as an employee, they don't have benefits either, because most of the work is not full-time. This work is mostly going to be part-time, and that means that there are no benefits. So this type of jobs, they're not going to be the most profitable. As you can see, there's going to be you're going to have like 2 hours of one thing. Like if you are an instructor, you're probably going to teach a few times a week for a few hours. So what a lot of people do is they have a side job, or they have like a main job, and teaching is kind of like their side job. If you are doing dance all full time, then you will probably be teaching at different studios, or you're gonna be a dancer in the morning and then a teacher at night, and that's how you're gonna complete your full income, but you still won't get any benefits probably. And it's a real struggle, not going to lie. You're gonna be working all day, but if that's what you like and that's what you enjoy doing, then you will do it with a smile on your face. This next very short list is going to be a more professional, I feel, type of jobs, and these are going to be the type of jobs that are going to give you stable money. And these positions will require a master's degree, and that's going to be a type of like MFA, so it's going to be 3 years mostly. So first off, we have a college, university, higher education professor, and this is going to give you around 52,000 to 159,000, depending if you are like full time or part time, like a lecturer. And the median is 88,000. I'm just going to say, from what I've seen and experienced with my professors and stuff, it's really competitive at the moment. And even if you have a master's degree, it doesn't guarantee that you will get hired. So just to keep that in mind. And the other profession that I found that was really accessible, I feel, is being a dance therapist. So if you don't know, a dance therapist kind of works at like hospitals or mental health institutions, and what they do is they use dance as a way to heal. It's more emotional. It's it's really heavy. I met a dance therapist when I was working at that retail store, and she would come in and she would be so drained from her job, because sometimes you experience really heavy things. So I feel like you really have to be a strong person emotionally and mentally to be able to help other people in that way. So, anyways, um, you can earn from 40,000 up to 80,000, and this is according to the American Dance Therapy Association. And these jobs, because they are more stable and salary based, they do provide benefits. So, if you're striving for benefits, I suggest you consider a master's degree for that. And I left out a few jobs and positions, like any like ballet dancers and choreographers, and like nonprofit dance companies, founders and directors, because there's just not enough information up there, and I don't want to give information that is not true. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take a break. When we come back, I'm going to give you 4 tips on how you can jump into a dance career. And we're back. So, we're going to give you 4 tips on how you can jump into a dance career. And this is more targeted to people who are trying to get their foot into a dance career. So, people who don't already have one, if that makes sense. So, number 1, create a dance resume separate from your regular resume. And this is really important, both if you are trying to still get a job that is not dance related, and if you're trying to get a job in the dance industry. Having two separate resumes is really important because you want to put stuff in your resume that is relevant to where you're trying to apply to. If you don't have any paid dance gigs, you can add your dance education first at the very top. So the very top is going to be the stuff that is most important to you. So any like higher education degrees, such as an associate's degree, a certificate, a bachelor's degree if you already have that. And you can put, if you don't have any of that, you can put what studios you attended, what styles you studied, and how many years you have danced for. So that way, when you get that to your employer, they're going to see that you're qualified for that job at the very top. And you can add any performance experiences and like recitals or dance concerts that you have done in college. Any work studies opportunities that you have had. If you had, this is if you helped in a studio or at a dance company and you were assisting classes and they were helping you financially, you can put that as well. Any choreographies that you have presented, and this is not just, oh, I did a choreography in my house and I made a video. So these are choreographies that you have presented in a concert or anything like that, like a dance event. You can put that. Any dance clubs that you were part of in high school, that will be a good thing to add as well. Okay, number 2. If getting a job at a studio is not yet within your reach, apply to after-school dance programs, rec centers, and YMCAs. They are almost always hiring and will hire anyone with a dance background. They don't need a teaching experience. This is a good way to get your foot in the door into that teaching area, and once you maybe get done with that, with teaching at a dance after school program or like a rec center, then you can add that in your resume, and that will boost your resume into getting a teaching job at a studio. Number 3, get involved in your local dance communities. Dance is such a small community in each city. We only have a limited amount of dancers. It's such a small world and everyone will know everyone. The more you go to dance events, dance classes, and performances, the more people you will meet. This is called networking. And make sure that you go, but don't just sit there. Talk to people, engage with people, exchange numbers if you can. This is the way that you will get opportunities. For example, when I was in community college, I had a friend and he asked me if I wanted to work with where he was working. And that's how I got a dance gig dancing at the safari park for the summer. And that was really cool. Without the networking, I would not have found out about this opportunity. And number 4, don't be afraid to create your own opportunities. Make yourself visible, go out to different studios and dance companies and ask them for a job or a work study opportunity. If you do not want to work for a studio, create your own brand, promote yourself, and set your own hours and rates. This is how I became a quinceañera choreographer. When I made my first quinceañera choreography, I was still in high school. I was a junior, I was 16. I had a friend that was having her sweet 16 and she was looking for a dance choreographer. She told me, "Oh, well, I was looking at this person, but she was too expensive." And I was like, why don't you why don't I just do it for you?" I said. And she was like, "You would?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I honestly never choreographed a quinceañera before. I only did like choreographies for our dance class in high school. But I really like choreographing, and I said, well, if I can do that, then I can probably do a quinceañera. So I kind of accepted the gig. I charged $200 for the whole thing. I think we practiced for like 2 months or something, like once a week. It was a lot. And ever since, like, I've changed my rates and I've changed how much time we practice and stuff. But it was my first time and I didn't know any better. But it was like a good start, um, because I just kind of like jumped in. So I accepted that, and that is how I just became a quinceañera choreographer. I had to look up videos of how the waltz were done in that time, and the surprise dance was like a hip hop dance, so that was really easy for me because I was already doing hip hop. So yeah, and I just kept doing it like once a year after that, and then it started to pick up like 2 years ago, and I have several uh, quinceañeras each year. So you can do stuff by yourself, jump into stuff that you think that you're not ready for, because honestly, you have to fake it till you make it, and you will never find out what you're capable of if you don't jump into it, in my opinion. So, how do you price yourself? Well, this really depends on two things. You have to consider the how much experience you have in that area and what area you live in. For example, back to my quinceañera story. I started with my first quinceañera at $200 because it was my very first time and they didn't know. After that, I started charging $300. And like a year after, I started charging $400. And now I'm at $500 because the more experience you have, the better you get at it, the more professional you are. And also it depends of how busy you are and how it depends on how busy you are. It depends on how much demand you have. So the more demand you have, you probably will want to raise your rates. And also, you have to look at the area that you live in. For example, in my area, dance choreographers charge something in between of 600 to 800 for the same work that I do. So that means that maybe next year I'll have to raise my prices to 600 to match what everyone else is charging because I'm undercharging. And that was because I was still in college and stuff. So I wasn't like desperate for another $100. But yeah, so you can go to websites like glassdoor.com and payscale.com to find out what other people in your field are making. So and in the area that you're in as well. So this is how I got all the numbers from before, where I told you what each dance field was making. So you could go to those, or you can do your own research and go into individuals people's websites and see how much they are charging to kind of justify like what your rate is. So this brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you learned something valuable today. I feel not a lot of people talk about what you can do as a dancer in a dance field or how much you can even earn and be honest about it. If you have any more questions, feel free to message me through Instagram, through Facebook, or through my email. My email is thedanceresourcepodcast@gmail.com. I'm at the Dance Resource Podcast everywhere else and social media. And if you are a person in the dance field and you do something else that I did not mention, please let me know. And if you can you provide your financial situations? I will be really curious as to how everyone is kind of managing their own salaries and rates. And yeah, thank you so much for being here today. Next week, we're going to talk about belly dance with Christine Sahin. So don't miss out. Bye, everyone. This jingle was created by Anthony Reyes. You can find him at Big Wolf 2509 on